Steve Quayle might be right. This may be it. We're going to Wayne Madsen in one moment. We've got the congressman coming on either tomorrow or sometime next week. He's on the road right now. He's been on the show before. Congressman, Obama could use pandemic to declare martial law. And it says, Georgia Congressman Paul Brown warned attendees of a town hall event Tuesday that the Obama administration was planning to use a pandemic or a natural disaster to implement martial law in the United States. Speaking at the North Georgia Technical College Auditorium, Brown said the socialistic elite, as well as Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, were planning to exploit the crisis to create a favorable climate for their stalling political agenda. Exactly what we've been telling you. They are trying to develop an environment where they can take over, he said. We've seen that historically. And notice there's really seamless integration between Bush and Obama. And I remember him saying this 6 months ago. Now it's hit mainstream news. Wayne Madsen's talked about the first time ever in 233 years of U.S. history, Cheney left a stay-behind network like NATO did when the Soviets took over. It's really still Cheney and Bush running things. I heard Madsen say that 6 months ago and kind of, But now I've analyzed it. It's true. And these Obama idiots have no idea what they're dealing with. They're trying to develop an environment where they can take over, he said. We've seen that historically. Brown's warning arrives on the backs of a letter sent to the National Governors Association to the Pentagon last week, which condemns the military's plans to usurp domestic control of National Guard and federal forces deployed in the event of a natural disaster or terror attack. And then it goes into Brigade's homeland and how they say they're, quote, going to pull triggers on the American people. And suddenly, regular federal Army, regular federal Marines running checkpoints from Tennessee to California, from Texas to Florida. And then I got this. And we're getting calls from Southeast Texas in Beaumont at Lamar University. And I confirmed there is some drill going on there. I confirmed, Paul Watson confirmed, got an article up. We've confirmed National Guard drill at high school to prepare for possible H1N1 riot. But see, they do this. I know what they're going to do because I've been to their drills. It's like I know the sun's coming up at 6:15 because I know when the sun comes up. I'm not smart. I went to drill after drill in the last 12 years and made 3 films, and they always stage it like people want in the camp and people want the shots. So the troops think, oh, putting people in camps is good. They want to be here. Then later in the drills, in the second or third drill they do, then the people fight back. See, it's all meant to sell cops, it's good. Sell military, it's good. It's all written by psych warfare experts. Oxford Hill Comprehensive High School will be the site of a National Guard riot control drill Thursday. That's today. Get over there. Get over there. To prepare for the event of panic over distribution of serum to treat the swine flu. The school on Route 26 in Paris, Norway town, Lies has been designated by the state officials as the distribution site for H1N1 flu vaccine. The drills are prepared for a worst-case scenario should the serum have to be transported from Augusta and people rush to get it. See, they did drills in Austin. Remember in January we had the emergency manager on in Indiana where they were wanting to know where to bury millions of dead from Chicago across the state line and said harden the police stations, get ready for martial law. And that's why I started saying they're going to use the flu. It's the flu. It's the flu. And then I got secret documents from the state of New York. We posted with numbers. Later came out in mainstream news. They were real. We have the sources. I got to get more people hired in here because we can't even go through all these documents now. It's just like piles of it. You couldn't believe how dire the situation is. Getting ready for millions dead in New York for something that's killed a few thousand in its peak pandemic in the other hemisphere right now. Something that's nothing. What are they planning? What is going on? But it's just like Y2K. The feds use that to build emergency FEMA bunkers everywhere, take over local government, put in their new computer systems, put in their new camera systems. They hyped it. The Navy said it was the end of the world. And then they turned around and said that the people had made it up. It was no big deal when it was the government that said it was real. Same thing here. Well, they just say, oh, we ordered 20 billion in vaccines and you took it. And some people died from it. But, you know, and the feds have trained you how to. Is that all that's happening or is it bigger? So we're going to go over more of this, but I want to go ahead and go to Wayne Madsen. He's with us for the remaining 47 minutes. Wayne, thank you for coming on, WayneMadsenReport.com. You've heard me ranting through all of this. We've got major German newspapers reporting there's live cancer virus in it. Top scientists saying don't take it. Other bird flu trials are killing people en masse. London Telegraph. What on earth is going on here?
Well, let me make you feel even better. Next week in Washington, there's a conference I believe you had something posted about this on your website, but it's on swine flu. It's at the Capitol Hill Hyatt Hotel, and here's some of the breakout sessions. Mass fatality management planning, direct fatality management tactical operations, conduct morgue operations, conduct final disposition, that's of bodies, and manage, some I can't figure out, manage ante-mortem data. Now, I know what post-mortem data is. That's how many people would have died, but what in the world is ante-mortem data? I mean, is this like, are they figuring out beforehand how many people may die, and you know, they have a self-fulfilling wish there? Psychological issues. You talked about PSYOPs. Public's distress of exposure and safety. Breakdown of public services, utilities. Unwillingness to follow government orders. Now this is obviously being held on Capitol Hill at the Hilton because they want to get, you know, members of Congress, especially their staffers, to go to this thing. But this is what they're talking about. Continuity of operations planning. Disruptions to public, private, and critical infrastructure. Undermining essential functions. So there you have it. This is what they're talking about. They're talking about when H1N1 flu pandemic is unfolds in 2 or 3 successive waves in a calendar year. So we're talking about October as, you know, sort of ground zero, at least in North America. For
October into April.
Right. And so this is what they're talking about. And this is next week in Washington. I'm going to try to cover this. They want almost $2,000 if you register normally, but hopefully they're going to, you know, let press in there to cover what they're talking about, because there's a lot of government people from World Health Organization, people from the U.S. government, all scheduled to speak at this thing.
Unbelievable, and they put that big price tag on there to make it cost prohibitive for most journalists, but you're with an international TV network and write for major publications, so they should let you in for free. Just as press, but we certainly want to have you here reporting for us, Wayne. Wayne, you heard me rant through, as you were on hold for 5 minutes, all the different little tidbits. Congressmen saying it's a cover for martial law. Open announcements they're going to forcibly inoculate and lock down cities. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to get away with this, but they're certainly now saying they're going to do this, and that's what Level 6 rules mean. That's what the executive order now activated means. What is your, I know you are up at Capitol Hill. I know you're at the press club. I know you have sources. I've really become to respect and be impressed. And you're one of our best sources, Wayne, and I've really not seen you be wrong yet, which is scaring me. You, day one, said you had virologists that were saying it was manufactured. That got seconded months later. What is going on with this flu? Is it really going to kill a bunch of people, or is it the excuse to bring in tyranny? Is that a beta test of tyranny, or is it a test? Do they think they'll get away with it? Will they go over with total control as a smokescreen for the collapsing economy and use it to pass the cap and trade and the banker bailout too? And I mean, what's going on with this?
Well, there's 2 protocols that seem to be in place in reporting now. First, we heard about people being infected. We got those, Brazil's been hit, and then it was, Panama, then it was India. Now we're hearing about deaths from all these various countries. First death in Nicaragua. But one thing they talk about is how most, if not all, these people died because of they already had a pre-existing condition. I'm hearing from people in the medical community that is actually not the case for the most part, that these people walk in healthy, and in some cases, a few days later, they're dead. The other thing is undercounting the number of deaths. I understand from a source in Jakarta, Indonesia, which has now been hit by the H1N1, that the government there is actually undercounting the number of deaths. So
yeah, the state of Texas document I got saying, we tell the public we're at level 4, we're really at level 5. In 96 hours, we go to level 6. That was in April. Turned out that was an accurate document, at least for being level 6. They said the deaths were much higher. So, continue.
Well, I mean, and this conference next week, here's what they're going to talk about when it comes to law court. They're talking about controlling and diffusing social unrest and public disorder with this swine flu. So it's clear that they know what's coming down the pike, unless the people putting this on are just using scare tactics to make a lot of money. I don't get the impression that's the case. One thing that kind of worries me about this conference, it's organized by a company that's privately held company, and there's no information on who their corporate officials are. I've been here long enough to know what possibly an intelligence front is.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is all a getting all the ducks in a row operation.
Right. And anything on Pennsylvania Avenue, as is this conference planner, if it's on Pennsylvania Avenue, that's pretty high rent. So somebody's footing the bill.
Yeah. So we got them all getting their little minions. A, how to line up at the sow's breast, and B, what talking points to cover. So they're getting their ducks in a row. But I mean, what about the mass graves they're getting ready and the forced inoculations? Clearly, this is a federalization drill, but not just federalization. All over the world, it's the UN directing this.
Well, again,